All right, welcome back to the third live update stream for Payday 3 this week. The purpose of this stream is for us developers here at Starbreeze to talk about the current status of Payday 3, give you guys some live updates on the current situation. And with me yesterday, I had Mio, who is the senior game designer on Payday 3. We focused more on game design related questions. Mia will be back with us tomorrow to continue answering questions like those. But in the meantime, I have Andreas, the lead producer of Payday 3, back with me. You want to say hi, Andreas?
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here again.
So I'll leave the word to you, Andreas.
Thank you, Almir, and hello, everybody again. So, first of all, I want to give an update on the matchmaking issues. Let's get into it. So, yesterday we had a server matchmaking maintenance with some improvements going out. And as a part of that, we also set a temporary cap to how many players can matchmake. It's still a lot of players, so many of you should be able to play the game. I hope you've noticed that since yesterday. Also, since we did that maintenance, we have increased the cap 2 times, and we aim to continue to do so as we are monitoring the stability of the game. So hopefully, more and more people will be able to play. But so far, we're seeing a positive trend with the matchmaking issues. The other thing that I wanted to update you guys on is, as mentioned earlier, there is a patch coming out October 5th. That is patch 1. So here's a couple of things that we're fixing for the October 5th patch. Multiple crash fixes. Fixes for multiple achievements not unlocking. And PS5 players, you will now get your cosmetic items that you didn't get from your different game versions. We fixed an issue with the audio not working on story videos for PlayStation 5. Aim assist now works for PS5. And here is multi-platform issues coming again. So we fixed an issue where there has been a delay the first time you interact with something, such as zip tying a civilian. We fixed an issue on Xbox where player names would disappear in the social screen. We fixed an issue where cage bags on Rock the Cradle could fall through the floor, or the dance floor. Fixed an issue where the VIP invitation did not work on Rock the Cradle on Overkill difficulty. Fixed an issue where guards sometimes couldn't be traded during the negotiation phase. Fixed an issue where the heist sometimes would not transition to the end screen after failing the heist. You guys never fail heists, so you haven't experienced this. Almir has. Fixed an issue where players could get stuck on the high success screen. Almir never noticed. Fixed an issue where players sometimes couldn't mark NPCs through windows. Fixed an issue where access denied voiceover was played even if the correct NPC was shoved into the eye scanner. Fixed an issue where Wolf would yell instead of whisper when dropping a medic bag in stealth. I feel that bug was in line with his personality though, so sorry for that. Fixed an issue where crew AI sometimes didn't revive players. I think the issue here was they came up to the player, you saw the revive circle, but then it just got stuck there. Also, fixed an issue where players may experience stuttery movement with 100 and ping. That's what I have for now. And again, once we release the patch, you will have more detailed patch notes. And again, we have fixed around 200 bugs for that update.
Thank you, Andreas, for walking us through those notes.
VIP invite disappearing on Rock the Cradle. I know there are multiple fixes tied to VIP, the VIP invite on Rock the Cradle. Again, we'll share more details once the patch goes out.
Haven't noticed a single bug on my whole 30 hours of gameplay, says Ashen Hollow. Oh, that's very good. But even though you haven't noticed, there are bugs that we're looking to fix. Not Loose Skirt asks, will there be voice chat?
It's something that is currently being evaluated. Again, we have a patch coming out later as well, where we're gonna include a bunch of quality of life fixes that we are currently working on. We'll share details, more details when we get there, but VoIP is evaluated at least for a future patch. Neodus, why can't I see some of my friends on Xbox? So, as a part of the patch that is coming out October 5th, at least I know we've fixed an issue where you could not see your friends in the social screen on Xbox. So hopefully that is the issue that you're referring to. There's a question here. Does this mean now that offline is off the table? We are currently not working on an offline mode. That does not mean that we've ruled out the possibility. It's still on the table, but our efforts are now put into making sure that matchmaking gets more stable. But again, there are a lot of options further down the line, and that is taken into consideration, but it's not something that we are working on now.
Dallas says on YouTube, hey Almir, can we possibly get some of the Payday 2 Cloaker voice lines, especially the forum one? My boy Cloaky Man wants to tell people to cry again.
Well, I guess there is an opportunity to do that given the current and recent circumstances. Maybe. Tsutsu, unready button, lobby chat. Those are both being evaluated as a part of a future quality of life update. I cannot confirm yet, but those are on the table for sure.
Keyrat asks, do you guys know what is happening with collector's editions? The Amazon delivery keeps being pushed back. We do not know, unfortunately. It might be the case where they have asked you to purchase it or allowed you to purchase it while they don't have any actual collector's editions in stock. And they are now, for whatever reason, unable to fulfill that order. That might be one of the reasons why you're experiencing that. We've got DBD Killer Main 1956 asking, change the XP system, it's shit.
Thank you for your feedback. We have seen a lot of feedback on the XP and progression system, and I think Mio touched upon that yesterday as well. There are a couple of things that we are doing for a future patch to improve the communication around challenges, so it's easier for players to understand what they are supposed to do. As of today, we're not working on any fundamental changes to it, but we are taking things into consideration to make sure that everybody has an enjoyable experience. But first and foremost, we want to fix the sort of communication and presentation part around challenges. There is a question that is popping up a lot. So keyboard and mouse support for PS5 and Xbox. We talked about this on Monday as well, because people mentioned that they were able to use it in the beta to a certain extent. We noticed after the beta that there was a lot of issues with it, so we decided to remove it for launch. So it's back on the table. It's a part of the things that we are aiming to fix. But again, a lot of the resources right now are put into stabilizing the current matchmaking. So we do have a long list of quality of life updates that we want to get out to you guys as soon as possible, but I don't want to commit to anything in the context of this stream, but you can expect a bunch of them coming out fairly soon, and mouse and keyboard for consoles is a part of that evaluation.
Thank you, Andreas. Agnelund asks, where is the best place to provide feedback? Steam, Reddit? There is actually a feature upvote part of our website. So if you go to paydaythegame.com, you will find a support tab where you can share feedback about the game. Thanks for making the servers better, says Don't Scam. Any plans on adding more achievements? Feels like there aren't enough on launch. I can answer that. Yes, absolutely. We're looking to add more achievements in the post-launch. I think Payday 2 started with 40 achievements or so, and during a 10-year lifespan, we added more than 1,000 achievements. We'll see how many we add over Payday 3's lifespan, but it'll be years and years of content for sure.
I've seen a couple of questions around randomization in heists in general. We hear you. We agree. We believe there is room for more randomization in the levels, and one of the goals for year one, like post-launch, just generally, is to reinforce randomization in our heists. So expect to see more of that as we move along.
Thanks, Andreas. I see a comment here from River, first time chat, saying, very respectable devs. You guys are open and honest. That means a lot to the community. Keep up the great work. Thank you for saying that. A watermelon fruit 1223 says, when are we going to get like community updates or any updates planned after launch?
Again, there is the patch that is coming out October 5th that only contains bug fixes, but our goal after that is to have frequent updates with both content and features and quality of life updates, and in some occasions community events as well. We have shared a very high level roadmap for year one, and as we get closer to that, we're going to share more details for what you can expect.
Valhalla says, hey Andreas and Almir, I hope you're both having a great week. Any plans for some additional female representing appearance options, clothes, masks coming in the future? Our art team and like our development team are working on additional cosmetics for you all. I think over time we're looking to share a ton of different types of outfits that are still aligned to the Payday universe, but stay tuned for more info about that. Sheeran45 says, hey guys, the game is great and the server fixes are at least working for me. Any chances at getting multi-day heists again in the future? We haven't confirmed any multi-day heist for Payday 3 so far. That existed in Payday 2, and one can argue it worked great, and one can also argue it did not work great, depending on how you look at it. But we will see what we do in the post-launch for Payday 3. It is still very early days.
Incognito Toast, any thoughts of remastering the previous maps? I think that is a good opportunity, yes. We have not confirmed anything, but to your point, there's a lot of great maps from Payday 2 that we know that you guys want to play in Payday 3 and in Unreal, so there is a possibility. You also mentioned remastered. I think something that is worth mentioning if we do old maps in Payday 3 is that we're likely going in a direction where it's reimagination. So we have different rules between Payday 2 and Payday 3, right? So some things will be different and adapted to Payday 3 in that case. But if we are doing something like this, obviously we would want to capture all the important elements of the old heist. But again, nothing confirmed so far.
I'm seeing a question here from Ashnaz789. Hey, Almir and Andreas, will there be a crime spree system like in Payday 2? So the crime spree system was a quality of life update, if you will, for Payday 2 that we added in the post-launch. In the post-launch of Payday 3, we are definitely looking to add quality of life updates, but a crime spree system like the one in Payday 2 is currently not confirmed, just so we're very clear. But thank you for your question. Moldy Ham says, love the game. Any chance we'll get the scrolling police assault in progress UI back? Looked awesome in Payday 2 and it feels iconic to the series. Thanks. This is also like a quality of life question where we will see, we're taking in all the feedback from the community right now, and we'll see what we do in the future. Great seeing that, you appreciate the scrolling police assault in progress bar in Payday 2, but we have not confirmed that as of now.
Smirker, are you guys gonna add more skills and fix armor? We are going to add more skills, and like I mentioned, there is one that is planned to roll out fairly soon this year, the transporter skill line, where you can carry more bags. But we will continue to update the game with more skill lines as we move along. Fix armor system, I am unable to answer that question, but again, we're taking the feedback that we're getting seriously and considering changes based on that. But we don't have anything that we're working on right now to change the armor system.
Sage Lunchbox says, "Notice me, senpai. Can we get more unique masks like the Scream mask, Michael Myers, Obito from Naruto, etc.? Those are all other IPs, possible collabs we can do in the future, but we haven't confirmed those as of now. But we will add more masks to Payday 3. That is for sure." Hey fellas, says Arctic Knight. "Totally fine if you can't confirm, but what is Locke up to these days?" That is a good question. We have heard nothing from Locke as of now. He is currently unaccounted for. Will there be more content during the first year other than the roadmap you've shared? Very excited for Payday 3's future, says Mackan.
Yes, there will be more content. We've generally shared the 4 beats that we are planning, but you can definitely expect more features, more content, more quality of life updates as a part of those and in between those. Again, we want to grow this game, we want to improve this game over time, and we want you guys to be engaged with new stuff on a frequent basis. That is our goal. To your point, the roadmap that we've shared so far is abstract. There's a couple of reasons for this. Obviously, we don't want to spoil too much. I think we have a really exciting narrative for the gang and the heists for year 1, so we're going to share more information on that as we move along. We also have a lot of interesting features that are planned further down the line, but same thing there. When we get closer, we're going to share it with you guys. And at the same time, we also want to keep monitoring what you guys want to see more of in the game, and take that into consideration when we plan out the year. I'm seeing a bunch of questions again tied to challenges, suggestions on pinning challenges when you're in a heist, or pinning challenges to different menus and so on. Like I said, we are working on a bunch of different ways to front load challenges and improve the communication around challenges, so it's easier for you guys to understand what to do next and to create a stronger incentive to complete challenges. That is one of the current goals for that system.
Adrian Eon 31 says, "Please do not neglect the story. We want a solid and engaging story." And I think I speak for both Andreas and myself when I say we will not neglect the story. I think we have a very strong narrative team here in the studio, a lot of talented folks who will write an exciting continued storyline for Payday 3.
The game feels like an open beta. Why not just call it that? We understand the frustrations around the matchmaking issues that we've had and we're still experiencing. Like I said, we did a maintenance yesterday. Things are looking more stable since then. There is currently a temporary cap of how many people can matchmake right now. It's still a quite high ceiling, so hopefully most of you guys are able to play. And since then, we have increased that cap twice, and we're looking to do the same as we're monitoring the stability of matchmaking. So again, sorry to hear that you feel that it's an open beta. I understand that given the circumstances, but things are looking slightly better now, and hopefully that's a path that we are going to continue on.
Blue Lobster 01 says, Almir, is the dog mask going to make a return? I just want to see Dallas with a Doji mask running around in Unreal Engine. We haven't confirmed that mask, but I promise you there will be a ton of masks added to Payday 3, and maybe your favorite animal will appear. Brezzy K asks a question here. Some challenges not getting any progression. Any idea when a challenge bug fix would be released?
I believe we're having a bunch of issues tied to challenges not progressing due to the current backend issues. I also know that sometimes it's a delay. So it can take a little bit of time for you to see your progress, and sometimes it helps to restart the game and you should get the progress that you're expecting. But we are definitely working on resolving this as soon as possible.
Baked Panda says, props to you dudes out there on the front lines answering these questions every day live and facing the people. Thank you for saying that. But I think for Andreas and myself, we worked on Payday for more than 10 years now. We know how important it is for our relationship between us as developers and you as our community to have this open type of communication. We expect no less from ourselves, and we know you do too. And especially given the circumstances, it's imperative that we do this. Tuxedo the Cat says, hey Almir, great game so far, really enjoying it. Will there be any other contractors besides Shade talking in heists? For example, Vlad talking in Rock the Cradle or Shayu in Road Rage? It was great in 2 and I hope it returns in 3. That is maybe something we can do in the post-launch. I think it is only up to the development team to decide who and what should talk during heists. Vakurban with the first-time chat says, what are your priorities after launch?
Right now, the priority is to resolve the current matchmaking issues, and we are making progress on that. Like I mentioned earlier, we have shared a very high-level roadmap, so I'm not going to go into details when it comes to content and features quite yet. What I can say is our goal is to grow the product, increase replayability, and make sure that you guys are engaged in new features and new content on a frequent basis. So expect to see a lot of exciting stuff coming out in the future. And again, we'll share more details when we get closer to that.
The Night Hunter says, it feels like a beta not just because of the bad server, but also because of the lack of features. Why is there so little communication features?
I hear you. We agree on that front as well. And like I said, we are working on a quality of life update to address some of this. And to your point, it is a multiplayer game. Communication is key. I think there's a lot of opportunities to improve that part of the game, and that's one of the priorities that we have for the fairly near future.
Questions. Is the Collectors Club still in development or will it be available this week? Asks Toasty105. I do think Elizabeth is in chat, but I think we will get back to the Collectors Club members next week. So stay tuned for that. This one? So we've got a question from the Empire. Will you stop pretending to be blind about the main issue and add XP rewards for completing heists?
I get your feedback. We've seen a lot of that. Just to be clear, we're not pretending to be blind about that, even if I'm blinking a lot. We are considering a lot of things, but the game has been out for a couple of days, so we also want to be mindful with changing fundamental stuff tied to the progression. But again, we welcome the feedback. We're taking it into consideration. We will get back to you when we know if we're doing any changes to it. But like I said earlier, one of the goals right now is to improve communication and presentation around the challenges. Hopefully that is gonna help you guys.
We got a first-time chat from Flaccid Schlong. Flaccid Schlong is asking, will you update the AI players so that we can get them to wait in certain places?
It's not a feature that we have confirmed. What I can mention is, even prior to launch, we have discussed potential features tied to improving the crew AI in general. So it's on the table. It's not being worked on. It's one of those things where we want to see your guys' feedback as well and understand a little bit better what you guys are expecting, and then we'll take it from there.
Red Nanaman says, thoughts on adding reticle customization for red dots, also sorting out the challenges to be easier and maybe a way to highlight certain ones so in-game you can see your progress. Overdrill when. I would like to see rats come back, please. Well, that's a lot to take in. I can say, like, the development team are evaluating all the feedback we've been getting these past few days. Remember, launch happened Thursday. Since then, our main priority has been to focus on the server stability of the game. We are taking in a lot of feedback from the community, and as we go through that, we identify what we can fix, what we will wait with fixing, because we're prioritizing something else right now, and so on and so forth. No overdrill has been confirmed for now, but I understand there are a ton of overdrill appreciators out there. Why so little content at launch, says Ocelot 300. I think when you compare Payday 3 at launch with Payday 2 post-launch, after having received 10 years of content, it definitely looks little. I mean, Payday 2 currently has 88 heists, over 20 playable characters, whereas Payday 3 has 8 playable heists and 6 playable characters. But, just like with Payday 2, we are going to update the game with free and paid content in the post-launch to improve the experience and to give you guys more stuff to do, and so on and so forth. Jabboy Ishi says, will the Payday 3 soundtrack be released to streaming platforms? We are looking into it. We've released Payday 2 music for streaming platforms, so I do not see why we wouldn't do the same for Payday 3. I do not have a date for that as of now, however. Rusher122 says, fix the stuttering, please.
What I can say is that we have a fix coming out in the October 5th patch where you experience a lot of stuttering around 100 ping. Hopefully that is resolving the issue that you are experiencing.
Tom Holland Gaming says, more shotguns. I love shotguns, preferably the lever action from the Rust pack without the biker heist. Thank you for your comment, Tom Holland Gaming. We will be adding more weapons to Payday 3 in its post-launch, just like we did with Payday 2. Rudest Canadian says, question, will a safe house be added in the future? Or is it being considered? So the safe house for Payday 2's launch was very much below your expectations, heisters. Then a few years later, we added an updated safe house that I think was much more well received by the Payday community. For Payday 3, we haven't confirmed a safe house yet, but that is definitely something we can do. It's all a question of what we prioritize and if we can make an interesting safe house, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. But currently, it is unconfirmed. This one? Yeah. We've got a question here from Prince Derpley asking, could we get more feedback when securing loot bags, similar to Payday 2, like seeing the value of the bag and a notification on screen?
So it's not something that we're working on, but I love this type of feedback because something that we want to do long term is just reinforcing the fantasy overall. And I think making you feel more and more like a bank robber. There might be smaller things like this, there might be bigger things, but generally speaking, these types of things is something that we aim to do, but that suggestion specifically, it's not something that we have planned for as of now.
I'm seeing a question here from Pandaplex as well, asking, are you going to be mindful of power creep? It got pretty rampant in Payday 2. We had Mio with us here yesterday, and Pandaplex, if you're here for tomorrow's stream, Mio will be back, our senior game designer on Payday 3. He touched on this subject yesterday, saying that the way Payday 3 is built is to keep that in mind. We do not want the type of power creep we saw in Payday 2 happen in Payday 3. Kaza Chokisanglil says, how do you plan to add replayability to Payday 3? Friends said it was fun to play, but there is nothing to do except grinding XP.
Thank you for the feedback. So we are planning a bunch of features later down the line that is going to increase replayability. That's a part of the goal that we have for updating the game. It should always be fun to come back. It should always be fun to replay things. I cannot go into details to what kind of features those are. Something that I mentioned earlier in the stream is that we are aiming to reinforce randomization in heists for live ops as well. So hopefully then you will feel that the heists are even more replayable than what they are today. But again, there are also features coming to increase both engagement and replayability. That is our goal. When Unreal Engine 5 arrives, we haven't confirmed an exact date. What we have communicated so far is that it's happening during year 1. When we can share more details, we will.
Tafenito93 with the first time chat says, new to Payday, been having a lot of fun, but I can't seem to get in game with other people unless I invite them. Is that just a server issue or are you guys working on?
So all I can say right now, just so the chat knows, is that we are aware of it. We're seeing issues with people matchmaking and they're getting into empty lobbies. So it's something that we are looking into and we are aware of it.
Fear Factor 77 says, hey Almir and Andreas, first thanks for a cool game and can't wait to see more. Question, do you plan on updating here and there a few gun sounds? The AK, for example, sounds a little too flat. Are the sounds recorded on real derivates or created synthetic? That's a good question for our sound team. I definitely think that our sound developers, sound designers are going through the feedback they're seeing among you heisters. So we take that feedback to heart, Fear Factor. Thank you. T-Money7901 says, have you had anyone say that they've had issues with money bags disappearing while mid-heist in Road Rage? That sounds like a bug that we'll have to investigate. Money bags obviously should not just disappear from the map. Fluegen Lalwalt says, hey there, will there be more free content or will everything be paid content only? No, there will be free and paid content, all right? Both free and paid content will be added to Payday 3. So stay tuned, we will share much more in the post-launch. Afsiba says, is there any chance of bringing only stealth heists as Shadow Raid in Payday 2? It's possible. We haven't confirmed Shadow Raid or a heist like it, but it's definitely possible. I mean, Payday 3 is ours to make of it what we want to, together with you in the community. Right, heisters? If we see a ton of comments about doing a stealth-only heist, that is definitely something that we will looking into considering. Grouse is asking, and good seeing you, Grouse. Are there any plans to increase max skill points available to player as more and more skill lines are added down the line? I think that's a great question, Grouse. And if you would like to come back tomorrow with Mio, we can discuss that with him because he's a designer on the design team. All right, gang. Time is up. Andreas and I will get back to it, but I will be back here tomorrow. Any parting words from you, Andreas? You want to say anything before we end the stream?
Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your patience. I'm happy to hear that you guys also feel that the matchmaking has been more stable since yesterday. We will continue to improve that. And again, there is an update coming out on October 5th that will resolve around 200 bugs. And then post that, you're going to see more quality of life features as well as additional content and features. So thanks again. See you soon.
Yeah, like Andreas said, Heisters, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been great chatting with you and keeping this open line of communication during this week. We will continue that tomorrow, and I look forward to doing so with you all. Hopefully, the game continues to work as intended. We will keep on monitoring the server stability. And until tomorrow, hope you have a great rest of your week. Yeah. So talk to you soon, Heisters. Much love. Take care, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Take it easy.